back, beer tubers. Ryan here with another episode of San Diego Beer Vlog. Joined by the beardless wonder himself, Peter the Master of Hoppets, doing his first post-shave collab review with me.
Yeah.
You could probably hardly recognize him. But we're going to look at a beer from Bear Republic. Peter's been reviewing a bunch of Bear Republic beers lately. And
Yeah.
I believe have not reviewed any. So I just picked one I thought we could do a review of because since he was already doing some. So we're going to do Pete Brown Tribute Ale, which is a 6.3% brown ale. And I believe on the bottle it does say it's bottle conditioned.
Yeah, and they call it an American brown ale, so I wonder if it's going to be hoppy.
Yeah, I mean, it's a California brewery. You'd kind of think so, but
Yeah.
we'll find out.
Yeah, and then the thing is that it's brewed in tribute to their late sales manager, Pete Brown, so that's
Right.
kind of cool.
Very cool of them. You have to love bottle conditioned beers,
Yeah, it's bottle conditioned, so that's really nice.
especially a brown ale. Those are just, if they're bottle conditioned, the better.
Yeah, I usually also... Yeah, go ahead.
My produced pretty nice head on there.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice
Light
kind of...
light
light-
brown.
Yeah. Color-wise, it is definitely like a brownish color, maybe a little bit of mahogany too.
Yeah, I got a lot of like mahogany into like ruby red up
Yeah.
against the light. It's fairly clear, but not dramatically. There's definitely some yeast
Yeah,
floating
sediment.
around in there. But what I like to see definitely in a bottle conditioned beer.
Yeah. Check out the aroma. It is lightly hoppy.
Yeah.
It doesn't smell like a hoppy, like what people call an Indian brown ale, some call it.
No. I got a
Yeah.
lot of toasty malt character.
Yeah, some nutty notes in there too.
Yeah, definitely
Uh,
nutty.
Well, maybe a little bit of molasses.
Yeah,
Sugary notes in there too.
yeah. They kind of mention on their on the side like brown sugar, sweet molasses. You definitely get that.
Yeah, for sure. There's definitely the brown sugar and sweet molasses in there. But
Yeah.
yeah, definitely the nuttiness I spoke of too.
Yeah,
So,
no real like roast character, which can sometimes be the reason why these beers get darkened up.
mhm.
I'm not really picking up any on the nose, but
Yeah, it's more of a toasty, lightly toasted malt.
yeah, maybe a little bit of like an earthy hoppiness, but
Yeah, and maybe a
pretty
light.
traditional.
Yeah, it smells pretty traditional. So
Yeah, probably like a Fuggles East King Goldings hop character. Huh?
yeah, something like that.
All right.
Should we give it a taste?
Yep.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah, pretty traditional. I'd say it does have a little bit maybe of a citrusy flavor too.
Yeah, I would say it's slightly. It is pretty on par with American style because I would say it is a slightly hoppier than
The British,
a traditional British style ale. But
but I still do see some kind of British traits to it because it has that kind of it has the nutty notes. It also has a little bit of a breadiness, and then some of that kind of fruity, as Simon sometimes call it, fruitcake flavor in British beers. I actually kind of get that in there.
yeah, and that's probably the yeast esters coming through. I know what you're talking about with that fruitiness. I get a lot of more molasses on the flavor than I do on the taste.
Yeah,
Or, I mean than on the
they
nose.
are. Yeah. There's definitely a lot more molasses in here. Still, the toasted notes are there. Some of the nuttiness, I felt like maybe there was a little more nutty notes in the aroma than the flavor.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Definitely that brown sugar molasses, fruit cake. They're different prominent. A little bit of, like you said, slightly citrusy, like earthy hop character up front to give a little bit of bitterness.
Yeah. And maybe I also get like a slight, just a faint chocolate character to it. It's very slight.
Yeah, I get like a pale. If you're in the brewing, like you're using brewing malt, maybe like a pale chocolate malt, something along those lines. Maybe even like a brown malt in there. Doesn't finish, it finishes fairly balanced though. I think there's maybe enough of that hot, slight bitterness up front. Because there's a good sweetness in there with that the sugary kind of molasses notes.
Yeah, it has a pretty solid sweetness and like it isn't too. I guess you could session this, even though it's kind of the 6.3 is kind of a lot to be a session beer, but it's a pretty solid brown ale. I mean, there's like pretty spot on for what they're trying to make, I'd say.
Yeah, and I think the the bottle conditioning just makes it really smooth, kind of velvety mouthfeel to it.
Yeah, it does, and yeah, it definitely has a very smooth mouthfeel. Body, I'd say like medium.
Yeah, I would love to get this on cask. I mean,
Oh yeah, yeah,
I think that'd push this to a whole different level if we could get this on cask.
yeah. So yeah, this is a pretty tasty brown ale, but like I maybe have a little bit of a bias because I'm not the biggest fan of brown ales, but I mean, it's definitely worth your time. A pretty good example of the style. So I'm gonna give it a solid 80. It's a good beer, definitely worth picking up if you can get it in your area.
Yeah, I'm with Peter on this one. I'm gonna go B minus. Definitely above average. Really drinkable stuff. I do appreciate good brown ales. I think this was definitely one of the better ones out there. I don't think there's a whole lot of like excellent brown ales out there. They're few and far between, and the fact that this one has some good traditional English style flavors mixed with some a bit of American character to it. I mean it makes a really nice beer from Berry Pop. They do a lot of nice beers, and they're all really priced really well too. So. That's going to wrap it up for this beer review. Thanks to Peter for joining me. And comment, subscribe, and we'll see you on another collab beer review. Cheers.
Cheers.